welcome back to the channel. As I said in the last episode where I completed the front end mock-up, which I'm really pleased about, it's so nice to actually see it starting to show shape. There's still lots and lots to do, but it's nice to actually see bits on a frame. But as I said in the last episode, I want you to see the stuff that you don't normally see. For some of you, you might find this interesting. Some of you may not, I don't know. But I thought I'd give it a go anyway. On the bench I've got a load of parts that have basically been sitting in a box. Obviously I've got engine brackets. I've got the rear brake, the actual lever. Rear spindle with the actual adjusters, and a few of the actual engine spacers that go on some of the bolts that go through. But as you can see, the state of them. Obviously I could say, yeah, that's fine, throw all them away, I'll go and buy new ones, which would be absolutely fantastic, but I'm not in a position to actually do that. So a lot of these parts I will try and refurb and rebring back to life if I can. So as I said, today is basically showing you what I get up to behind the camera, but actually I'm showing you on camera. Spend most of my days, well, behind the wire wheel, on the polishing wheel, obviously sort of latex gloves, protect my hands. Also I showed you some of the parts that I've actually polished. I'll bring some of them back up again because there's a few of them that need just final touches here and there. But that's basically what I get up to. So enough chat, let's crack on and you can see what I do. So as I say, here's a selection of some of the parts and the problems I'm dealing with. So you can see the state of that. Now some of these parts I'll actually throw in I can either use the parts washer or I can use the ultrasonic cleaner. Some of these parts are the smaller parts, I'll actually throw in the ultrasonic cleaner, give them a good clean through, and then I can move across to the wire wheel on the bench grinder. I say I can interchange whatever I want. Obviously I've got one polishing wheel on there at the moment and a wire wheel, but sometimes the wire wheel will come off. The main polisher will go on this side and then the buffer will go on the other side. But that bench grinder is kind of a lifeline for me. I've had it many years. It works brilliantly. Ended up making a stand a while ago, just out of a couple of old pallets, held together with engine bolts, but it is quite a sturdy, and I can store parts underneath it. I will actually revisit this at some stage and put another shelf across, but for the while that's how it is. So I'm going to get the ultrasonic cleaner out first, start stripping a few of these parts down, get them in the cleaner, give them a 15-20 minute cycle, and then I can start under the wire wheel because it will loosen off the parts. The ultrasonic cleaner will loosen off a lot of the old paint, the rust, will clean them up quite well, and the wire wheel to finish them off. So I'll get some of these parts in and join me again when the parts washer is finished, because I can't run the camera and the parts washer at the same time because the noise is horrendous. Right, so the ultrasonic cleaner has just warmed up. I've broken down a load of the parts. You can see the state of some of them. And then rear spindle, these adjusters are actually solidly rusted in place, so it'd be interesting to see if I can save them and get them out. But let's run these through. I've also dug out the exhaust clamps. Again, if I can save them, I'll save them. Some people will say, well, just go buy new ones. I'll see what comes out when these have gone through. So as I say, so that's warmed up nicely. As I say, the bolt obviously won't fit through, but a lot of these parts will. I'll get as many in there as I can. May have to split it in two and do two, but I'll show you, as I say, when it comes out of the cleaner, because it is quite noisy when it's running. Right, so the cleaner's finished. Let's just add the first batch in it. So I'll get some gloves on, pull them parts out, give them a wash down, and then I'll stick in the next batch and we'll have a look at the state of the ones that have just come out. Alright, so I've just given them a wipe down with a wire brush. They have started to come up, so I just need to dry these off and then I'll start to run them under the wire wheel. Again, I'll do the same with that. So if you imagine, well, that is the state of it. And all these parts. So I'll transfer these across and start on the wire wheel. Obviously remembering that the most important thing while using this is obviously some style of safety goggles. It will help. As most of you know, these bits of metal on the wire do fly off, and if one of them smacks you in the eye, it can be extremely painful. Right, so let's go in with first piece. You can see that's starting to come up. So I'll continue on with this and show you the end results. Alright, that's nearly done. But compared to the part that you saw, which was caked in rust, that's actually come up pretty good. Probably gives you a bit better idea. So obviously I still need to clean this off and the pin and the nut at the end, and then obviously lightly do the spring and then continue through and get these bits done. So next I'm going to start on this piece. Again, exactly the same as we've done before. Obviously I'm still wearing the goggles. So that's how it's coming out. Obviously the inside will have to go in with some fine sandpaper, probably 1000 grit. But compared to what it started off like. So again, I'm going to continue on, get this bit done, and I'll show you what the finished article looks like. Alright, so there you go. As was rusty. Even the springs come up. It hasn't come up brilliantly, but it's not too bad. But as I say, you can see the difference. And that's basically, well, as I say, I'm going to run these parts through and then show you the finished results, because I will run through the main bolt, the rear axle bolt, and just concentrate on the top, and I'll show you the results. Yeah, unfortunately that one was quite pitted, but it has started to come up. Obviously I continue through to the shaft and everything, but I'm just giving you an insight. Alright, next bits I'm going to run through are the chain adjusters and a couple of the spacers. Right, on the spacers I've only done a little bit so you can see the actual comparison between. That one's still got a long way to go, there's quite a lot of pitting in that. And that look like that. Still got the other side to do. So that should actually come up nicely. Even got the bolt out, give that a clean up. That's what it looked like. So that gives you a brief insight of some of the things I do behind the cameras. I say I don't always film cleaning all these parts up. So I mean, out of this whole unit I've managed to save everything apart from the split pin. So all I've got to get is a split pin. Everything else I'll probably give this another going over. But considering what it looked like to start with, most of the parts were, as you see, like this, rust. That will need a bit more. Obviously I've got these to finish now, but I just wanted to give you a comparison between, and it will be exactly the same for these parts. Right, I also forgot the castle nut on the end. I've just given that a quick clean up, and the shaft of the actual spindle bolt. I'll continue on with these parts and get these finished at a later date, but I just wanted to give you a brief insight of, as I say, what goes on. This is very, very time consuming. It takes time to get all these parts clean through. I say these have had a quick going over. They're not 100% perfect yet, but it is saving me quite a lot by actually trying to clean these up myself. Some of the actual spacers will be painted, but as you can see, the state of some of the bolts, I'll have the ultrasonic cleaner going in a minute, and that will run another fresh batch through for me to clean up. Obviously the other thing I get up to, as I showed you some time ago, wipe. all these have been stored for some time. They will need a good polish just to bring them back up. But the other thing, as I say, I spend a lot of my time polishing parts. So a lot of it just needs to wipe down. It's just where it's been sat for so long. Obviously the bearings will need pulling, but say I'll get to that at a later stage when we start on the rear end of the bike. Again, there's a few little areas on this one that just need going back over. Right, so thanks for joining on that one. I hope that was, well, kind of helpful, but gave you an insight of what I actually get up to behind the scenes of the camera. Obviously I try and get as much done as I can, the prep work, etc. Obviously I've loaded up on the bench, ready for my next batch of behind the scenes. Is the carburetors again. If you remember, they were all black. That's the last bit I've got to do. I say quite caked up. I've been doing them slowly, working through. As you can see, the results, that's actually come up quite well compared with, so pleased with that. Again, before, that needs a little bit more work, but that's nearly done. And the same with the caps, they are coming up. But as I say, that was just a brief look at some of the things I get up to, the polishing, the cleaning, ultrasonic cleaners going, the wire wheels going. I didn't want to sort of bore you too much with the wire wheel, so I just kept it brief to give you an idea of what I do. Some of you are already familiar with obviously how to use a wire wheel, how to clean parts up, but I do try and save as many parts as I can. It does help me, it does help the budget. And it's nice to still use the original parts. Obviously I've had to buy aftermarket pattern or brand new OE where I can, but if I can resalvage the original bits, then it is nice. It does keep the originality within the bike. Also, the other thing I wanted to mention also is I did release on Facebook not long ago a new t-shirt design. It's a t-shirt, a hoodie, a sticker and a mug. There's a link in the description below, and I'll put a screenshot up now. So hopefully people will like that design. It is quite basic, but it kind of describes, well, obviously apart from the Z650, which I do need to do as a restoration, but especially with the booster build, and obviously later on with this with the Kawasaki that I want to do, it is my bike, my way. I understand that will offend some people, purists, etc., but I own the bikes, I do what I like, and it's good fun doing it, and a lot of people support that. Obviously, yeah, with this Z650, slightly different. It is one of the first ones. It deserves to go back to an original. It's a fine line. But say, link in the description below. Go and check it out. all proceeds help the channel. So anybody that has bought, thanks very much, really appreciate it. Obviously all the other designs are still in there, so have a browse, see what you think, let me know in the comments box below. So that just wraps it up for this episode, so thanks for watching, join me again next time. Cheers, bye.